Hello and welcome to Till Our Ears Bleed. I'm Max.
And I'm Claire.
And this is the only show on Bearcast Radio where you know exactly what is playing for a full hour. Give us a little recap on what we do on this show, Claire.
Well, last week we listened to Come On Eileen, and we listened to it 10 times, and we reviewed it between each time.
Yep.
To see how our perception changed.
Exactly. And we're going to be doing that every week. And this week, the song we're going to be listening to is The Impression That I Get by the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Now, this was my choice for a song this week. Last week, we listened to Come On Eileen, and that was Claire's choice. And this is kind of a two-part series we're doing of our least favorite songs. So the impression that I get is my least favorite song of all time. I absolutely hate it. It's ska. I'm not sure if anyone is familiar. Once we start listening to it, I'm sure you will become very familiar with this song, but I don't know. There's something about the trumpets, just the general vibe of ska that I really do not gel with. It is miserable. I don't know. What's your impression of this song, Claire?
I haven't really listened to the song all the way through, so I'm kind of like coming in like blank slate sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not that familiar with ska. I don't really have a strong opinion about it. Yeah, I don't know.
Awesome. Well, I guess we can just get right into the first listen. This is The Impression That I Get by the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Alrighty, that was listen one. How you feeling, Claire?
I think this song was in Clueless.
You think?
I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah, when they go to like that party in Clueless.
Okay.
So yeah, I realized that when I was listening. And I don't know, like it kind of just reminds me of like I don't know, early or late 90s, like early 2000s. And I think it's kind of fun. I don't know. I enjoyed it. What did you think? Like out the gate, like
I don't know. I don't have anything against this song in particular, if that makes sense. It's more so just the entirety of the genre of ska. This is just the most popular song. I don't know. Something about the repetitive trumpets, it really just irritates me to no end. I do not like ska music. I don't know. This might be a deep cut, but if anyone is familiar with the Aquabats, I used to love the Aquabats Super Show on Cartoon Network. That was my jam when I was like 11, 12 maybe. But my least favorite part was whenever they played the music because it was always so ska-y, and I just really, really dislike it. I don't know. What are you thinking for a number rating for this very first listen of The Impression That I Get?
I'd give this like a 7.
A 7 out of 10?
I think a 7 out of 10. What do you think?
Okay, well, almost complete opposite. I'm going to give it a 3, I think. I don't know. It's just, it is too ska for me to go any higher. I'm afraid of going lower because this is just the first listen, and I already know that I hate the song, but we'll see if I can hate it even more. But right now I'm sitting at a 3, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see if that changes.
Yes, we will, because that's the format of this show. Are we ready to get into another listen, or do we want to discuss it a little bit more, our first impressions?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Alrighty. Well, without further ado, here is listen 2 of The Impression That I Get by the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Alrighty, that was listen 2. How you feeling, Claire?
I'm feeling okay. I'm just on the Wikipedia page right now, and it was not in Clueless.
No?
I've realized, but it was in Step Brothers, the movie. And it was in Chasing Amy, Father's Day. But it rated pretty high. It was number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100 Airplay chart, and it's certified gold.
Oh, wow.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that's deserved?
I don't think it's deserved. I don't know. If I were to pick any ska song to get it, I feel like I would have to give it to this song. But, you know, I have some thoughts on this listen, honestly.
What are your thoughts?
I got my ska hate out of my system, I think. Well, not completely out of my system. I don't want to say that yet, but I gave it a chance on this listen. You know, I really wanted to listen to the lyrics and see if I could understand what the Mighty Mighty Bosstones were talking about with The Impression That I Get. And I've got to say, it's a bit of a weird message so far from what I've gathered.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking at the lyrics right here, and I've never had to knock on wood. Like, never have I had to knock on wood. That always comes after, the chorus always comes after verses that are always about, like, seeing other people experience hardships. So it kind of comes off this song as a little bit like, I don't know.
Yeah, like, I'm the lucky one, but, like, all these other people are, like, struggling or whatever.
Sucks to be you. I've never had to go through that. Knock on wood. You know? And that's the message of the song, and I feel like that's a little weird.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't really, like, get that message at all. I wasn't really paying attention to the lyrics on this listen at all. But, yeah, that is a really weird message to give.
It's a bit strange. I don't know. I feel like my rating will go up, but not by a lot. I'm feeling better about this listen. I feel like the ska-ness of it is kind of like behind me.
Yeah, you can get past it.
I can get past it. Now I'm just judging the song on its own merits.
Okay.
So I think my rating's going to go up, but not by a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. How are you feeling?
I'm still at a 7.
Yeah?
Maybe a 6. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to keep it at a 7 because I feel pretty, like, good about it still. Yeah.
I think it's going to go up to a 3.5.
3.5?
You know?
You're harsh.
Hey, I don't like this song. I posited that at the beginning, you know? This song is not for me. But who knows? Maybe a third listen can change that. Are you ready?
Yep.
Alrighty, here we go. This is the third listen of The Impression That I Get by the Mighty Mighty Bosstones. Alrighty, that was listen 3.
So I was looking into the song that I was thinking of from Clueless, and apparently, they did have a song in Clueless, but it was a different song, and the song was called Where Did You Go? So it was the same, like I recognized them, but it was just a different song.
And you know, that just goes to show you, one of my main issues with ska is that all the songs sound exactly the same. I feel like our listeners could say, hey, I've listened to an hour of ska, and, you know, it's equivalent to listening to any song in the ska genre. Yeah.
Yeah. And then one of our listeners had a question about the saxophones since you played the saxophone.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I played saxophone in high school. I didn't even notice it. So I think I'll have to listen out specifically for that on the fourth listen.
Yes, definitely.
Mark down the fourth listen as the saxophone listen.
The saxophone listen. We're going to specifically listen to the saxophones and tune out everything else.
Alrighty. And if any other listeners have something they want us to know, where can they reach us?
You can DM us on Instagram. Till with 1 L, Our Ears Bleed on Instagram. You can DM us.
Awesome. Alrighty. So how are you feeling on the third listen, rating wise?
I was a 7 last time. I was a 7 before. I'm going to say maybe like 6. Like, I'm kind of getting tired of it a little bit. Yeah. I'm a little bit disappointed that it definitely wasn't on Clueless, and I'm just thinking about that a little more.
So the disappointment is skewing your rating.
Yeah, it is. 6.5 for me. 6. What do you think?
Okay, that's still higher than my rating, I think. I think I gave it a 3.5 last time, and I gotta say, I felt nothing. No change whatsoever. It is still a 3.5.
3.5.
It didn't get better. It didn't get worse. We'll have to see how it changes, but it's sticking firm at that 3 to 4 range. Alrighty, that was listen 4.
But
That was the
alrighty,
saxophone
here we go.
listen.
The
Listen
saxophone listen.
We
of
were
the impression that I
listening
get.
adamantly.
Be sure to listen out for the
Yep.
saxophone this time.
But we
This
didn't
is
hear it till the end.
saxophone
Yes,
listen.
yes.
I'm sure that the
impression
saxophone
that I
player
get.
was playing throughout the
Yes.
whole song, but they really got drowned
Here we
out by
go.
the trumpets, you know?
Yeah, the trumpets are very overbearing.
Mm-hmm. But once that saxophone got his chance, you know, okay, I can't put on the act any longer. He really wasn't going for it. I gotta say, it was a saxophone solo, but I don't know if it really counts as a saxophone solo if you only play like 3 notes.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah, like it doesn't really stick out in my mind like what exactly happened with like I can't remember it, you know? So I think that's a bad sign.
Yeah, terrible sign. You know, we got a message from one of our listeners, and they said that they agreed with us about the messaging of the song and that it sounds kind of douchey. And I gotta say, I've been thinking about it, and ska has a lot of reggae influences, you know, which is a little bit weird because the members of the band are, okay, I could be wrong, I'm going to look it up, but I have a feeling that they are all very white.
You would be right.
Yes?
Yeah, they're all white. Yeah.
Okay. You know, reggae comes from Jamaica, so just taking their music, I don't know. It's just, the whole song has a very douchey vibe, I feel. I don't know, maybe...
It's very like divorced dad vibes.
Yes,
You know, like it
yes.
reminds me of like Smash Mouth, that one song by that band that is really popular. All-Star?
All-Star,
Yeah,
yes.
All-Star.
Yes. Very similar time periods, too. I'm not sure when All-Star released, but this is 97, I think, is when The Impression That I Got came out. The impression that I get came out. I don't know. This song, it's just inherently so repetitive that, like, doesn't change a lot from listen to listen, you know? With Come On Eileen, it was repetitive, but at least there was that breakdown at the end that was like, ooh, okay, now it's getting good. And it left you at the end of the song feeling like, okay, that was a good song. But with The Impression That I Get, there's no standout moment for me, you know?
Yeah, and this song is also very short. This is like a 3-minute song, and I think Come On Eileen was like 5 minutes too.
This is, our recording is 3 minutes and 8 seconds long with fade in and fade out stuff too. But yeah, very short song, which works for us. We don't have to listen to as much music, and the listeners at home don't have to endure it for as long, but, you know, it doesn't leave to a very interesting listen.
Yeah.
I don't know. How are you feeling rating-wise for this 4th listen?
I'll give it a 6. I'll give it a 6 at this point.
6?
Yeah,
Okay.
like at the beginning I was like kind of excited. I was like, okay, this is like kind of like a nostalgic, like early 2000s vibe that I'm getting. But now I'm kind of like, okay, I'm starting to get a little tired.
Yes, the nostalgia has worn clean off.
Yeah.
And we are left with The Impression That I Get by the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yeah.
I think personally, I gave it a 3.5, right? And I gotta say, it is rock solid at that 3.5. It is not changing.
3.5 since the second listen.
Since the second listen, I don't know. Like, that first listen, I got a lot of hatred out of my system, I think, for ska as a genre, and now I'm just evaluating the song on its own. And it hasn't gotten too repetitive yet for me to drop it any lower than a 3.5. I feel like a 3.5 is very fair for this song.
Okay.
I wouldn't put it any higher, but
That makes
we'll have
sense.
to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Alrighty, listen 5. Are we ready?
Listen 5. I'm ready.
Alrighty, here we go. This is listen 5 of The Impression That I Get.
Okay, this is listen 5 of...
The Impression That I Get.
How are we feeling, Max?
I gotta say, this song, I don't know how it does it, but it sounds exactly the same every single time I listen to it. There was nothing new this listen. It sounds the same. I have no thoughts. It's the same. It's the same song.
I was kind of feeling the lyrics at the beginning. I was kind of like, okay, like I was kind of enjoying it at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like the nostalgic like vibe that it's bringing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
That's my thoughts.
Totally fair. I did have one thought, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I wanted to give it a shout out to the bass player for absolutely carrying this song. I don't know how he did it, but I think he plays the same exact like running bass line throughout almost the entire song. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
I got to hand it to him. He's putting in work, and I see him. Well, hear him. I hear him.
Oh, we have a message from one of our listeners.
Okay.
They said, this song is so forgettable.
Forgettable, yes.
Do you agree?
I completely agree. You know, with Come On Eileen, I like feel like I can remember the whole song, you know, especially like that ramp up part at the end. I really remember that. It sticks in your head. But I have a feeling that we're going to leave the studio tonight and not remember anything about this song.
Yeah, like I remember last time after the show, we were like, Come On Eileen is like our new Silence.
Yes.
Like, it's like, and I don't know if this is going to be the same thing for me or not. I guess we'll have to see, but.
We'll have to wait until we're alone with our thoughts to see if the impression that I get was an effective earworm or not.
Yeah.
But I'm calling it now. I don't think it will be. But how are you feeling rating-wise on that fifth listen?
I'm still going to go with a 6 with this.
6? Okay.
Like, yeah.
I think
It's just, it's a short song. Like, it kind of just is there.
it's in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I completely agree. I don't know. I feel like 3.5, I hit it the first try. Well, second try. We'll call it second try. 3.5 feels right for this song, but I feel like just because how forgettable it is, I think it needs to be knocked down a peg or two.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to lower it back down to a 3.
Okay.
It's lost that 0.5 for me.
Yeah.
You know?
It lost you.
Yep, it's lost. But are we ready for our 6th listen? We're over halfway done.
I'm ready.
I feel energetic, you know? At this point of the night, last week, I was starting to feel it a little bit, but I don't know. I feel like I could do 60 listens of this song and feel nothing.
I could do like 100 listens of this song.
Yeah, knock on
wood. That was the 6th listen.
Well, that's
How
in
are
the
we
song.
feeling?
Alrighty, here's listen 6 of the impression that I get. Do not like this song. I just don't like it.
Really?
I think it's taken me this long to realize. I know, shocker, but
wow.
I don't know. I went into this listen trying to see it from the perspective of, hey, this song is playing, I'm at the club, how am I boogieing down to this song? And I gotta say, the lack of any sort of change within the general bass line reminds me a lot of techno in how, like, 4 on the Floor, are you familiar? Well, for those of you at home that aren't familiar, techno music is very famous for its 4 on the floor bass line. So techno producers always put a bass hit on every quarter note, and there's 4 beats in a measure, so that's 4 on the floor. That's what techno music, the basis of techno music. And I see a lot of similarities with this within its repetitive nature, but I gotta say, I feel like I would feel a lot less cool boogieing down to this music or like rave dancing to this music than I would techno music. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, like I think this is kind of like an embarrassing song to listen to.
Okay.
I think like if I was listening to this song and someone came up to me being like, "Hey, what song are you listening to?" I would say something else because that's kind of embarrassing to be like, I'm listening to whatever the song is called. I forget what it's called. Like Till the Impression That I Get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you got it.
I don't think I would be able to say that if someone came up to me on the street saying that.
I mean, that's very, very true. I feel the exact same way. But I also want to say for our listeners at home that do enjoy this song, these are just our opinions. You are allowed to like this song, and we applaud you. Because clearly you see
You're brave. You're one of the brave ones.
Yeah. You see something that we don't. And, you know, it takes many types, many folks to make up a community. And if you like this song, you're all the better for it. but I think it's that time of the night, Claire. Do you want to tell us about our sponsor?
Thank you to our sponsor, Mio's Pizza, proudly serving delicious pizza to the greater Cincinnati area for over 40 years. Head over to their location on Shortfind for their daily deals. Today's deal is buy one, get one 50% off wings and $13 large one-topping pizza. So head over to Mio's.
Oh, fantastic. And we will be getting Mio's at the end of the show.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, every Monday we go to Shortfind and get Mio's.
Yes, we do. Alrighty, how are we feeling for ratings on this listen?
Now I've realized it's kind of embarrassing and like cringe to like this song. I kind of have feel pressure from that. I feel like peer pressure.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna go 5.
Okay, 5. 5 marked by peer pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. I said 3 on the last listen, and this song is very consistent. I consistently don't like it. It's not getting any worse, which I think is very strange, because when we listened to Come On Eileen, it was a stark shift. Like, I started out at like a 7, and I think by the end I was like a 2, maybe.
Something, yeah. Well, I can check right now.
Alrighty. While Claire's looking at that, it's just, it doesn't change for me. What was my final ranking?
Yeah, for Come On Eileen, Max was at an 8 to a 3, and I was at a 6.5 to a 2.
Okay. Yeah. This song doesn't merit the same change for me, I think. I think it's going to stay at a 3,
Okay, yeah.
It's just how I feel. But who knows? Maybe a 7th listen will change that.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Here is listen 7 of The Impression That I Get.
So during that listen, I was watching the music video, and wow, it makes me hate it so much more.
Okay.
Like, just watching the band just be so into it, like they just are so like fired up from this song.
Okay.
Just makes me like really embarrassed for them, and it makes me want to like I just like I don't like it, and I'm very uncomfortable.
Okay, so I did not watch the video, but I feel like from your description I can completely picture it in my mind, and that makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I feel like I get the gist of it,
Yeah.
But I mean, it is their music. They're allowed to be into it, but there isn't much in this song to get crazy into,
Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't merit that response. Maybe it's just my perspective, but I don't know. Any other revelations from the music video?
No, not really.
Okay, well, that was the only bit of new information that we have. The rest is exactly the same, and I gotta say, this song is bafflingly similar, like on repeat listens. Like, my opinion has barely changed. It doesn't give any response to me,
Yeah. Well, you should watch the music video with muted.
Okay.
And let us know what you think on the next listen.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts while I'm pulling it up here?
I think I'm definitely gonna drop my 5 down to a 4.
Okay. That's appropriate. I mean, I think I'm gonna stick with the 3. It hasn't earned back that 0.5 for me yet, I don't think. It's stuck solid on 3 now.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Maybe it'll drop lower. We'll just have to wait and see.
Right. Okay.
But what listen was that?
That was 7.
Okay, 7. They're all blending together. There's nothing crazy new about it. But here is listen 8 of The Impression That I Get by the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
All right, that was listen 8. What are you thinking, Max?
So I was watching the video with this listen, and I gotta say, I think I get what they're going for now.
Really?
A little bit. I think the video enlightened me, in terms of like the energy that they want to bring to the audience when you're listening to this song, you know? And I noticed a stark, there's definitely emotion to the song and the amount of energy that they're bringing. It's not very much motion, but I see it now, and I think that helps a little bit with kind of deciphering this song, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But with watching the video, I noticed that the members of the band are all moshing throughout, like kind of like the middle to like late half of the song, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The at least the members that aren't actively playing their instruments, but they're not like moshing with their arms. It's all legs, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not completely sure of the name of the dance move, but I know it's very popular within mosh pits, at least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I know it. Yeah.
I don't know, kind of like kicking your legs and just groove into the song. And towards the end, when it starts to slow down, it's kind of like a breather. And I can see that now. It kind of like...
I noticed that too. Like at the end was like, it slowed down. Like I was like, okay, kind of like an emotional tone almost.
Exactly. It's kind of like, I can imagine them playing this in like a set of songs. And that little like last 30 seconds is kind of when the people that are moshing are just like, and like just breathing, recovering before they get into the next song, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I think that's kind of lost in this format, but
yeah,
we found it.
Yes, at last.
At last.
We actually got a message from one of our listeners.
Okay.
They said, also, as ska is a subgenre of punk, why is the band so adamant about not having any hardships? Like isn't punk about tackling societal or personal issues? And like I was like agreeing with that.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. You know?
Yeah.
And I gotta say they are trying something new. Like, well, it was new in the 90s. As new, yeah. But you know, at least with like the more punk rock influences mixed in with some of the big band swing revival of the time, I can respect it. It's new. It just shouldn't have been tried. You know?
Yeah.
They tried. They tried.
They did a thing.
Yes. But how are you feeling on ratings on this listen?
I want to just give it a 4 again, I think. I think I'm just sticking with it. I think a 4 is very fitting. So you were at a 3. What do you think now?
You know, a 4 is just so fitting that I think I'm going to bring it back up to a 4.
You're with a 4, okay.
Yeah. I'm understanding the song.
Yeah,
more,
the music video like gave more context about like what the vibe that they were going for was.
Yes, exactly. And I got to say, it doesn't make a good song if that doesn't come across to the listeners when you're listening to the song, but at least the video kind of helped.
You're right, yeah.
But alrighty, are we ready for listen 9?
I'm ready.
Alrighty, here's the penultimate listen of the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones with The Impression That I Get.
Okay, Max, that was the 9th listen of The Impression That I Get. What are you thinking?
I gotta say, I think I've reached a point of understanding with this song, and that has made rating it very difficult. Because I still really dislike ska. Like, I do not like ska music. I do not. But I've listened to this song enough that I feel like I can disconnect it from it being a ska song, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm feeling like, at least for this listen, the rating's going to go up, I think.
Wow.
I'm not sure how much, but, you know, like, I can respect that, like, they knew what they were doing with the chorus, because this song is like 90% chorus.
Yeah.
That's what the people came for. They're giving them what they want. It's the impression that I get, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I can hate on the song and the lyrics, but the chorus is pretty catchy.
It is catchy, for sure.
Yeah. So I feel like my rating's going to go up. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good at a 4. I mean, like looking into the lyrics and, like, just seeing it sort of, like, turns me off of it, and how embarrassing it is to kind of like this song, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like, kind of makes me feel like a 4 is good.
Okay.
And, you know, even though that this song kind of has its place in some sort of area, you know, some sort of, I don't know, group of people, I still feel good at a 4, I think. Okay. So what do you think?
I think the 9th listen merits a 4.5.
4.5.
4.5. Not a 5 yet. We'll have to see. Maybe the 10th listen will change my mind, but I'm not hating on it as much as I was. You know, I came out of the gates really negative, and I'm not regretting it, but my mind is being changed. I am being influenced.
Wow.
But without further ado, I guess it's time for our last listen.
Last listen. Oh, boy.
Alrighty. This is the last listen of The Impression That I Get by the Mighty Mighty Bosstones.
All right, Max. How are you feeling about the very last listen? Are you going to miss it? Are you going to miss this song?
I think this song falls into a perfect middle ground. I don't feel like I'll miss it. You know, I'm not going to seek out this song in the future, but if it's playing on the radio or like it comes up in like a playlist or something, I won't like make an effort to skip that song, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, at least make it to the saxophone solo.
Yeah. Sure.
Before you skip it.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I don't hate this song as much as I did originally, I think. I've kind of taken it for what it is, and, you know, I don't like the song. Don't get it twisted, but I don't hate it anymore. How are you feeling?
I kind of feel the same way. Like, I'm sort of at peace with it. I think I'm at a 5.
Yeah?
Now. I was at a 7 at the beginning, which is, like, very high.
Yeah.
I feel like I rate really high at the beginning.
Well, that was all nostalgia, though, for, like, the vibe of the song and not the song itself.
Yeah.
It will be noted.
So, yeah, I started at a 7. Now I'm at a 5. You started at a 3. And
I think it's getting a 5.
5.
Yes. Middle of the road. It's neither good nor bad. It's a song, you know?
Decent, yeah.
And I think just from now, it's not stuck in my head. I don't know. You guys will have to tune in next week to see if it is or not, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, me neither.
It's very in one ear, out the other type song.
Yeah. And if you made it through all 10 listens, DM us on Instagram, knock on wood. That's the key phrase. If you made it through all 10 listens, and DM us knock on wood. And yeah. So
awesome. Thank you so much for listening. This episode wasn't as painful as the last episode, I think. You know, general, more positive experience.
Yeah. And our Instagram is Till Our Ears Bleed with 1 L in the till.
Alrighty. Fantastic. I guess we'll see you all next week. I'm
See
Max.
you next week. I'm Claire.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.